Hi, it's Miss Maidman here. I have put together a little welcome to Hazel class video for you, whether your child is already currently in year 3 moving into year 4, or whether they are in year 2 moving up into Key Stage 2 for the first time. Normally we would have a parent meeting and meet face to face to have the same presentation I'm about to show you, but obviously the ability to ask and answer questions with you. If you do have any questions or anything you'd like to ask, then please don't hesitate to email or call, and I will try my very best to answer them as quickly as possible. So without further ado, here is our Hazel class presentation. So I know for a lot of children in year 2, the idea of coming into year 3 can be quite big and quite scary. However, the only big and scary thing in Key Stage 2 is myself, and it is not that different to being in year 2. A lot of the timetable you will see is exactly the same. It's just the next step in their learning. Things might get a little bit harder, but with a bit of perseverance and a bit of resilience, we will be absolutely fine. So, the structure of a week in Hazel class or a day in Hazel class is English and Maths is taught every morning. This does also include guided reading lessons and spelling lessons. Unless we have the occasional topic day or we are going to church or I've decided to make a change to the timetable, English and Maths will be taught every morning. All our foundation subjects are taught in the afternoon. So this will be history, geography, RE, RSHE, and science and PE. Subject specialism lessons will hopefully still continue to take place next year with myself, Mrs. Elliott and Mrs. Davey, teaching each year group from year 1 to year 6 on computing, music and global studies. PE will obviously still be taken by Mrs. Douch, and in year 3 and 4 we're lucky enough that we have swimming with Mrs. Helen Blake, who taught myself and is amazing. In English, we are going to focus on reading to start with. We have a reading skills lesson that is taught every Monday. So these are the kind of skills that we need to be able to ask and answer appropriate questions, being able to answer lots of different comprehension questions, and also using lots of skills to help us with our day-to-day reading. These kind of skills are skimming and scanning, finding information, prediction, inference, deduction, but not just being able to pluck out pieces of information and do nothing with them, but being actually able to answer more tricky comprehension questions and also these big mark questions that come towards the end of the paper that give us those extra few marks that make us do well. Guided reading sessions will take place daily, where myself and Mrs. Elliott will take a small group of children to work on a text, an image or a video, and we just have a discussion-based lesson for 15-20 minutes. It's probably one of my favourite lessons due to the discussion element where we get to talk about lots of books, we get to unpick the text or the image given, we can use our prediction skills, we get to say what we think might happen next, what we think about a character, kind of really delve into the reading. And as I said, it's one of my favourite ones to teach, just because the discussion based and everyone joins in, and it's just really, really lovely time to spend with the children. And that will happen for every child at least once a week in a small group setting. Within our writing, English lessons are taught every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday and Friday morning, obviously because our reading skills is on the Monday. Our writing within English revolves around 2 or 3 texts a term, normally a mix of fiction and non-fiction, and I try and link these to our topic. For example, when we did the Anglo-Saxons last year, I linked this to the text of Beowulf. The children love it because it gets us more immersed into our topic. We get to learn new vocabulary through it. We get to push the topic a little bit further and just really delve in deeper into our learning. And it works really, really beautifully, and the children love it. When we first get a new text, we start to unpick it. We get to understand it. We obviously get to read it. We might read parts of it. It's quite a large text. And really get to grips with it, understand it, know why the author's chosen these writing techniques, why have they included that fact, why might they include that piece of language, and just really pull it apart into lots and lots of pieces. Once we've done that and kind of understand our text, we will start to look at creating our own versions, using the author's features, using their writing techniques, and turning these into our own pieces. This can be obviously through a range of fiction, non-fiction and poetry. We also try to bring some drama and some role play into our learning as well. This is a big question from everyone that comes into Key Stage 2. It's all about pen licenses. When a child first starts in September, I try and ensure that we all start in pencil. It's a level playing field. It makes everyone feel more comfortable, especially coming up from year 2 where you're used to writing in pencil anyway. Once we've done a few handwriting activities, and I've kind of had a look at the children's handwriting, I will assess if they are capable and comfortable in using a pen. A lot of factors come into this, including legibility as being the biggest one. If the handwriting is not legible, then unfortunately we need to keep practicing with a pencil. Letter formation and size is massive as well, and using cursive script. Once you've kind of mastered those three things, then the world is your oyster, and I am happy to give pens out. For spelling and grammar, or SPAG as it's more commonly called, we have a weekly spelling test, which are based on words that I send out weekly. This is the Year 3-4 spelling word list. From the government, there are some interesting words on there, which I think you'll agree. We go through every single one of these words by the end of the year, whether this is through spelling frame or through lessons taught in the classroom as well. Daily spelling lessons happen. We have about 10-15 minutes a day where we really focus on the words of the week, and we have fun and engaging lessons to try and make spelling more exciting, whether this is through word searches, silly sentences, rainbow writing, finding objects to spell them without even using a pen or pencil, really understanding and unpicking each letter and understanding the word, where it comes from, what it means, is really, really important, especially at this age. So hopefully through these activities, we end up getting better scores in our tests weekly, but also makes it a little bit more fun. Grammar is also taught discreetly through our writing work, so I might just like drop little bits of grammar in through our normal English lessons, but I also will do standalone ones. For example, being able to use inverted commas or speech marks, as we probably more commonly know them as from when I was at school. I will do those as a standalone lesson to make sure that we really understand and really embed them before using them more in our writing. In maths, we will be continuing with our Schofield and Sims arithmetic books. So these ones here that I have, these will be continued next year. Your child will get a new one in September, ready for the school year. Exactly the same thing applies. We'll do some work at home, some work at school, but I will go into more detail in that when we've stickered them up and give them to you in September. We will be having fortnightly arithmetic tests in Hazel class. I won't start these until at least term 2, once we've got to grips more with number and place value, and definitely going over addition and subtraction with the class. Obviously, the first few times we do them, a lot of concepts haven't been covered, but it's really, really good practice. And by the end of the year, a lot of children have already moved on to the year group above. They're really confident in themselves. It's just really lovely to see them, the progression of how they move forwards, which is why we start them so early in term 2. But obviously in term 1, I want to focus more on routine, knowing how a lesson runs, and focus on the number and place value before we move on. As I said, term 1 is number and place value, which is a big unit. In year 3, we look up to 4-digit numbers, so 3 and 4 digits. And in year 4, we go up to 4 and 5-digit numbers. Sometimes if we're feeling a bit more challenging, we might increase that to 5, 6, 7-digit numbers, depending on the style of questions and the children I have in the class. But quite rarely, we would just stick to the units that we need to look at and be really secure in before moving up into the next year group. Any work at home that could be supported on times tables and time would be greatly appreciated. Time is a massive life skill, being able to tell the time. However, when we get to year 3 and 4, we focus more being able to tell it to the nearest minute, finding out durations of time and answering word problems, not so much focusing on what is the time right now and being able to actually tell the time. So anything that can be done at home would be greatly, greatly appreciated. And even just wearing a watch is really helpful for a child, just to have that on their wrist to keep looking at, to familiarise themselves, and just having a go as well. It's just a life skill and it's really important. And times tables as well, which I will continue on the next slide, are vital, especially in year 4. In year 4, children are expected to know their times tables up to 12 times 12. This doesn't just include the multiplication side of things, this does also include the division side of things as well. Government testing takes place in June for the year 4s, where they're tested on their speed and fluency of their times tables. We do them in school. We teach them as part of normal maths lessons, as well as they're obviously incorporated in arithmetic papers and tests as well. However, any extra support at home is, greatly appreciated and highly beneficial to your child's learning. In year 3, obviously, when you come in, you should be secure in your 2, 5s and 10s because you do those in year 2. However, we will start moving on to 3s and 4s, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, even for some children in year 3, just to get them ready for year 4. Here are some really good websites. So Top Marks is a fantastic maths game website. Children love it. I love it. They do have this game here called Hit the Button, which you can buy as an app on your phone or iPad or tablet. It's like a speed game. However, it's not just times tables. They also do number bonds and fractions and squared numbers and root numbers and things like that, especially for when the children get older. This is fantastic. I thoroughly recommend this game, whether it's via the app or via the website. It can get highly competitive. I hold my hand up and admit I'm very competitive with this game in class. And the kids absolutely love it, and they like trying to beat their score each time, and we have a little scoreboard in class and so on. But it really, really helps with their learning. It helps with the speed element as much as it helps just learning them. So take a look. If you haven't heard of it, take a look. It's absolutely fantastic. In terms of homework, as I said, children receive weekly spellings, and that's tested every week as well. Reading logs will go home the first week back. These are just a small purple exercise book in which we just write the date, the book, and pages they've read. If children are free readers, which I know a lot of them are, I expect them to at least twice a week, maybe 3 times, write their own reading log entries, which includes a little sentence or 2 about what they've just read. This is really good practice, and one of the things for assessment to tick off in year 3 and 4 is to be able to summarise what they have read, whether that's verbally or written. And it's just really, really good practice, especially when you get into 8th class as well. I also set a termly project linked to our topic, which the kids love. We've had some amazing things come through in the past couple of years. So I've had some edible things, which obviously go down a treat. We've had some amazing models and statues built. We've had lots of artwork. I've had videos, I've had PowerPoints, leaflets, you name it, we've had it. And they have been absolutely brilliant. The kids love this. They get to have an element of independence, and they get to choose what they want to do within their learning, as well as diving a little bit deeper and spending a lot more time on it, as well as you've got the whole term to prepare and to make or present your work. So the start of the year in September, obviously when we come back, we like to establish our own set of class rules which each child sign, and we also create a class charter as well. Children get to choose any jobs that they'd like to do and help out around the class, and kind of know what I expect from them, what they expect from me, and we all sign this, and it's a really lovely way to start the year. Obviously, it's a chance to get to know the classroom, how the day-to-day activities work and how everything runs. Timetable is slightly different to being Key Stage 2, as we don't have an afternoon break. We will start having an afternoon break to start the year, just to get back into the swing of things, but this starts to ease off as the year goes on, as we expect a whole afternoon of work. Obviously, it's a chance in September to get to know members of staff for the year 2s. Obviously, you have been taught by me for computing last year, but you haven't had me for every subject. You don't know what I'm like in class all the time. I'm sure the new year 4s or current year 3s will be able to tell you exactly what school is like, or if you've had any siblings, you're going to know what it's like in Hazel class. But it gives us a chance for you to understand what I expect from you in my classroom, and also Mrs. Elliott as well. Obviously, it's a chance for a fresh start and to focus on our school value for the term. And it's just a nice way to start the year. We're going to have a focus book. It's going to be quite relaxed, thinking about our well-being, as it's been a very manic year so far, and trying to get some normality back into our day-to-day lives. So just some general things. Obviously, you're entering Key Stage 2. It's the next journey in your education and in your learning. And we are quite hot on our independence, resilience and perseverance. All 3 of these things are within our school values, so we do go these into more detail, but we do expect children to start taking a little bit more independence, a little more pride in their work, having some perseverance, because there are going to be times where things are tricky. It's that next step in their learning, you're moving up, and I completely understand that. But there, as I say to my class every year, there is one of me and there is a lot of you. And I wish I was an octopus and I had more arms, but I can only help so many children at one time. So you need to start building up some perseverance and some independence. but obviously this develops as the year goes on. You need to start having some more independence, looking after your own belongings, making sure you have the correct equipment in school each day. That means your reading book and reading record, your mental maths book, water bottle, PE kit, etc. We try and encourage that from year 3 onwards. Obviously, focus on concentration is huge. Got to think about those around you as well as yourself. And the most important thing is, I say, you need to try your best at all times. I would rather see a child try 110% and putting lots of hard work in and only completing half a task than completing half a task knowing that I've spoken to my partner the entire time. That's not what I expect in Hazel class, and my new year 4s, current year 3s will definitely tell you that as well. So I hope this has answered lots and lots of questions. I hope you are ready. You can watch as many times as you like because it's a video, which is exciting, and I'm really excited for September and what may bring. Have a lovely summer, and I will see you all very soon, and bye. Welcome to Hazel class.